Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and we have some important updates for the car market in today's video. As always, some of the information comes from Cox Automotive, and then also a link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. Cox Automotive just released their sales forecast for the 2023 sales year, and obviously as the year goes on, the forecast gets more accurate because they've got more data based on these sales that have already happened. And it's pretty rough, if you ask me. So we'll just go over the numbers, then we'll talk about it. 15.7 million new vehicles are estimated to be sold in 2024. That's up from 15.5 million units last year. Now, 12.7 million of those will be retail, so that is identical to last year. 3 million will be fleet sales, so that's up 0.2 million compared to last year, 200,000 units. Now, leasing volume, 3.1 million units. Last year was 2.7 million. So that's a 25% penetration. Last year was 21%. So that's an improvement on leasing and fleet so far. CPO sales, 2.6 million. That matches last year's 2.6 million. Now, used vehicle sales, 37.3 million. Last year was 36.4. This is interesting because all of the initial estimates were that the used car market was going to be smaller this year, but now it's actually bigger. Used retail sales, 19.9. Last year was 19.3, so retail have increased. And then used car prices have just slightly decreased year over year, but not by a massive amount on average. You know, most segments you're going to see somewhere in that 2 to 3% range. And so this leads us into what this means and what is happening moving forward. So in terms of what this means, this shows that the new car market is still very, very weak. Retail sales are not increasing at all. All of the extra volume has come from fleet sales, and fleet sales are actually starting to soften quite a bit. And so next year, we might actually see a decrease in overall car sales in the new car market because there's weakness in one part and the other market's starting to weaken. So that is not good news. And again, that is a really weak recovery. Going from 15.5 million to maybe 15.7 million, that doesn't make any sort of logical sense when you look at the car market prior to the pandemic. And so the new car market is extremely weak when it comes to volume. And it makes sense because the prices are just too high. Automakers, on average, are probably about 10% too high with their prices. Some are a little bit less in terms of being too high and some a little bit more. But that's kind of the average that we're seeing in the market right now. Now, with the used car market, it makes perfect sense as to why more used cars are sold this year than expected, and more used cars are being sold this year compared to last year. And it just comes down to the affordability with those new cars. There's a lot of people that are in need of a car and they cannot afford the new ones because they're just, again, they're overpriced. And so let's push more people into the used car market. And again, if you look at the increase in total volume sales within the used car market, all of those sales should be new car buyers, that increase, right? That roughly 2 million extra units that we'll see in the used car market that are more than we expected. Those 2 million, if you put those into the new car market, that would put the new car market at that 17.7 million unit range, which is what it was prior to the pandemic. And that would be a normal market. And so, yeah, the math, it is mathing this time. And so what this means moving forward is we're going to continue to see strength within the used car market. Again, the values are low enough, especially compared to the new car prices, that more and more people are just going to continue to buy the used ones. And something that I do also want to talk about is the quality of these new cars. New cars have gone down in quality a significant amount, right? The reliability with these new cars isn't as good as a lot of the pre-owned ones. Just how the cars feel to drive. A lot of these newer cars just feel crappier to drive. The material use feels crappier. Like everything feels less premium. And this is also what people are seeing in the markets. They'll look at a brand new version of a car and then they'll go and test drive the previous version that's less money. And they'll go, wait a second, this previous version drives kind of better. It also has a nicer interior and, less tech that's going to break. And so there's also that's playing into the market. And so to cap things off, we're going to continue to see strength in the used car market. We're going to continue to see weakness in the new car market moving forward. And this is going to be paired with a need for big changes by the automakers. If the automakers don't make some serious changes with the quality of their cars, and the prices that they're selling these cars at, they're just not going to see the sales. And so I think the market's going to force some big changes. I'm already seeing a little bit where automakers are talking about making their interiors, more premium like they used to be with the material use. And some automakers talking about simplifying some of their models with less of the giant screens and everything so that they are more user friendly for buyers. So time will tell. I'll see you.